Yeah. I love my HBCU. And boy, I love it, love it. I love it, love it. I love my HBCU. And man, I hope my team they won one. Yeah. I hope my team they won one. Yeah. Man, I hope my team they won one. Yeah. I hope my team they won one. Yeah. I tune into the HBCU Sports Lab to see if my team won or lost. If they lost, I'm quiet as a mouse. But if they won, keep tab. I'ma do the dab, yeah. Dr. Cavil, he know what he be talking about. Mike and Charles, they know what they be talking about. They compress the analytic data with the hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they won or lost, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gonna teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab radio show and podcast, episode 718. This is the Indy Report. Welcome to episode 718 of Inside the HBCU Sports Lab radio show and podcast, the show that's covering the sporting HBCU diaspora, all things HBCU sports for institutions large and small, from the NAIA to the NCAA. We share insights and information on the HBCU sports culture and HBCU athletic aesthetics to facilitate the story of HBCU's athletic programs and the business of HBCU sports. I'm your host, David L. Rhodes. Tariq Wilson, Brandon King, and Jeffery Johnson, they're all on assignment. We might see Tariq. He might be able to get out of assignment. We are filming from our home studios and sending a signal live to our KCOH 1230 AM studios with the Texas Radio Hall of Famer Ralph Cooper in the beautiful home of Texas Southern University from Houston, Texas. Gentlemen, and ladies, I hope you guys are having an outstanding week so far. It's been kind of the news has been kind of fascinating to say the least in the HBCU world. I think I want to talk about the Georgia Classic initially and give you my perspective on that. So unfortunately, for those who don't know, who haven't heard the news, the matchup between Mississippi Valley State and Florida A&M University was scheduled for this weekend in Atlanta, Georgia. And that game is no longer going to be in Atlanta, Georgia. It's actually going to be in Urbana, Mississippi, at home for Mississippi Valley State. This game was originally a home game, and they've moved it back to Urbana due to some challenges with the promoter and among other things. It's disappointing, but shout out to Stephen Gaither and Vaughn Wilson from HBCU Game Day. They kind of started spreading the tea leaves a little bit a few months back. And they got a little bit of resistance initially, but it seems like they were onto something with regards to whether or not this game was going to happen in Atlanta. I just think from the standpoint of it happening and the timing of it all, you're talking days before they were supposed to play this game. It's somewhat embarrassing. From the standpoint of we're talking about two Division I schools, and this is happening. So it's disappointing. It's embarrassing from that standpoint, and it brings up the discussion about whether or not we need to be whether or not we should be doing classics. I think that to do a classic, it has to be like a legitimate type of game, something that has a historical reference, something that has a lot of history to it, and something that people want to go see. And you got to have months to prepare. Trying to do it in an NFL stadium is a tall task. There's not too many marquee matchups that can pull it off in an NFL stadium. So when you take all those things into account, I don't think it was a big challenge for that classic to succeed. I'm pretty sure folks are going to get their money back for the tickets, but I feel for the folks who were planning on flying down and got hotels and things that are short because of such short notice. It's very possible they might not be able to get some of their funds back in that regard. But hopefully some of these companies and corporations will work with you. From my perspective as an Aggie, I know when I was a student, we always played the school down the road for the Aggie Eagle Classic. But when I was a student, it was in Raleigh pretty much every year that I was there. And the big thing about that game was that, they had promoters to have that game at Carter Finley Stadium and North Carolina State Stadium. And then it fell apart because of payment and things of that sort. So, and I'll be honest, like A&T, as of late really hasn't been in the classic business like that. Like I think they'll do some games, but it kind of takes a lot. It takes a big payday for them to come out and do one. I know that they were reached out for the Southern Heritage Classic when Jackson State left, and we told them no. And we ended up doing a home and home with Tennessee State. That's how that came into fruition. So when you take those type of things into account, I know like there's certain classics that are undeniable, like the Bayou Classic is undeniable, Magic City Classic is undeniable, right? But that's something that's been built up for a long, extended period of time. To bring back a classic that's been gone for a period of time, you got to have a very big marquee matchup. And I'm not trying to beat up on Mississippi Valley too much, but you got to have like a high level of a marquee matchup. All right, let me see here. Shout out to folks who are on the show. Shout out to Walter. Oh man, Livingstone is having a phenomenal year so far, man. So far, man. I think the investments are working. I mean, they've been getting a lot of anonymous donations. Maybe some of that stuff went to athletics, and now you're seeing some of the fruit of that. So shout out to you, Walter. And I'm gonna get into like funding and things of that sort. I want to talk about the town hall that I attended last night. Shout out to Emmett Jones. Appreciate you coming. A&T Roy, yeah, 2 weeks in a row. We'll talk about the games too. Um, Something that just broke that I found since we're on this topic of FAMU, something that broke was FAMU was fined $10,000 and suspended, and the announcer was suspended 2 games for his remarks about the honeybees from Alabama State. And the first question I had when I saw the report was why I could understand the fine. The fine that makes sense. But the question I had was how do you find the announcer of a band member as a conference? I didn't understand that. And at some point I'm pretty sure we'll get an answer to that. I would have thought that was something that FAMU would make a decision on, and maybe they did, and the conference just let folks know about it. But I would have thought that was something that FAMU would do if that was the decision that they wanted to do. 2 weeks in a row, indeed, man. We got to win some games, though. We got to win some games. Yeah, that's impressive. That's really impressive. I anticipate the Magic City Classic is probably going to exceed that number, but it's going to probably end up being the largest. Between this and the Magic City Classic, is going to be the largest games. But that's great. I think that's awesome. You know, I don't know, man. I'm not a big NBA YoungBoy fan, but yeah, I think some of this is on Valley. I think a lot of this is on Valley, but at the same time, I think the communications could have probably been better between the two ADs about this. And I also think that I think with the turnover, with everything that's been going on with those two institutions from an AD standpoint, didn't help. These were the same promoters that were doing the Tampa game, I believe, the Tampa Classic that was supposed to be with Bethune and Southern. These are the same guys, and Reggie Theus knew, hey, we got to back out of this. We're gonna make this a home game. You're not getting an apology. We're not going to get an apology. I think the problem with the joke is the weight. It was about the weight. Like I think you had any other place you could have gone and you probably would have been okay. But when you do it with the weight, that's tough. But I mean, and then we can always talk about the different things when it comes to that and the sensitivity of it all. But like it's 2025. You've been doing it for so long. There's a lot of things that you can get away with now. You could get away with 20, 30 years ago that you can't get away with now. So I think it's a different type of scale. Like, when I think about some of the comedy shows that I used to watch, that I watched, would not fly here. And it's funny because I watched Eddie Murphy Raw a few weeks ago. That would not fly now. He would be he would be canceled so fast his head would swim. But you know, that was a different era. That was the 80s. That's a different era than what it is now. Yeah, but hey, I guess nobody complaining loud enough. I guess I don't know. I don't know what to tell you there. Bethune Cookman went through the exact same problem. Which did. Yep. Shout out to him, man, for making the right call there. I mean, when you listen to the audio of the joke, you could hear the crowd like they kind of booed him a little bit, like, and they were at home. So like, I think even the crowd knew that was the wrong call. It didn't land. Like, it wasn't funny. I mean, to keep it a bean, it really wasn't a funny joke. Like, I think you can get away with it if it's funny. But if it doesn't land, and then you're talking about body shaming and things of that sort, that's on a young lady, on ladies, that's a lose-lose situation with regards to that. What's going on, Chuck? Hope you're having an outstanding day. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take this first break. When we come back, I'm going to talk about what happened this weekend with the Independents. So we shall return. This is Dr. Cavil's HBCU inside the HBCU Sports Lab, the Indy Report.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavil of Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavil's Inside HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU.
College football fans, the Cricket Celebration Bowl is celebrating 10 years of crowning an HBCU national champion. A champion will rise at Mercedes-Benz Stadium on December 13th as the MEAC and SWAC champions clash in Atlanta. Join us for championship football, interactive fan experiences, and iconic marching bands. It's an HBCU family reunion that you don't want to miss. See who will be crowned the next HBCU national champion. For event and ticket information, visit thecelebrationbowl.com.
Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab, episode 718. This is the Indy Report. All right. So all three of our institutions, and North Carolina A&T, Hampton, and Tennessee State all played last week. We'll start off with Hampton. Hampton fell to the Elon Phoenix 41-20. They are now 1-4. Elon is 3-2. Hampton's looking for a quarterback, ladies and gentlemen. Braden Davis was the game leader 14 for 27, 194 yards, 1 TD, 2 interceptions. Had a decent running game, but it still wasn't enough. Kylie Chavis had 11 carries for 94 yards and a touchdown. And Tayshawn Johnson, the wide receiver, had 6 catches, 110 yards, and 1 touchdown. But Elon was pretty much dominant this entire game. You know, I know my buddies from the H2 Power Ship was very, very high on Hampton this year, and that started to wane down over time. There's legitimate concern about what game are they going to be able to win in the conference. We'll talk next up. They have the Battle of the Bay, which I honestly do believe that they can beat Norfolk State right now. But I will say this from the Norfolk State perspective, I think a lot of folks in the Norfolk at Norfolk, the alumni base at Norfolk, would be thrilled if Michael Vick can get his first FCS win against Hampton. So that being said, I'm picking Hampton to win this game. I felt Hampton was very dominant in this game last year, like super dominant. And I think that they have a talented roster. And I think Boyk is definitely a better coach than Vick. So I'm picking Hampton to win this game against Norfolk State for the Battle of the Bay. So that'll be their second win of the year. That will be their first FCS win of the season, as well. So by the end of that game, somebody's going to have an FCS win, because Norfolk has only beaten Virginia State, and Hampton has only beaten Elizabeth City State. And some would say neither one of them should have beat either. So that's that. With regards to Tennessee State fell to Tennessee Tech 35-8. They are also looking for a quarterback at Tennessee State. Jonathan Palmer went 13 for 25, 127 yards, and 1 interception. And Byron McNair went 8 for 14 for 114 yards with 2 interceptions. Unfortunately, they did not score a touchdown. Tennessee State did not score a single touchdown in this game. Kendrick Rhymes has been having a phenomenal season so far. He only had 15 carries for 31 yards as a running back. I heard rumblings that the other quarterback for Norfolk, not Otto, but the other one has NIL money, and that's a factor of why he's probably playing more. I think if I was Michael Vick, I would play Otto. I agree. If Otto starts, Norfolk has a very good chance to win this game. But we shall see. It'll be interesting. But Tennessee State's next opponent is Eastern Illinois. Eastern Illinois is currently 2-2. And this is fun fact, this is Tennessee State's first game on the road for the season. Their first four games was at home. So this is their first game on the road. I'm hoping that Tennessee State can get this one, but I will be honest, guys. Offensively, they have not looked good this year. They just have not. So it wouldn't shock me that Eastern Illinois pull this out. I see Tennessee State's record as 1-3, and I feel like it should be 0-4, but I'm biased when it comes to that for multiple reasons. Speaking of which, I went up to Maine this weekend. I went up to Maine on Saturday. So I was at the game between A&T and Maine. A couple things about that game. Maine cares about their football. It was a pretty packed house there. They had over 5,000 people in attendance for the game. So shout out to them. Tailgate was interesting. It was pretty decent. Parking is free unless you want to park up front. What's going on, Adam? How you doing, sir? How you doing? You're on time, man. You missed all the talk about Hampton. I picked y'all to beat Norfolk, though. So I did do that for you. I did pick y'all to beat Norfolk. Yeah, I heard. I haven't went back to go watch the telecast. I heard they showed a lot of us during the telecast on Flow. I have not went back to go watch it. I got pictures. I got shots of me and my son, because my son came with me. So I got pictures of that. But that being said, I feel like A&T has a habit of like putting themselves in a hole and then they worked to try to work the miracle to come back and try to get the victory. And this one was no different. They came really close, coming up with a miracle to make this comeback. They were down 21 points with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And they scored a touchdown, got a punt return for a touchdown. And then they got a 3-and-out, and they were able to get the ball back and drive down the field. And they literally just ran out of time. They were I think they were at like the 30 or the 25-yard line, Maine's 25, 30-yard line, and they just couldn't connect. My man almost got his hands on it. If he would have got his hands on it, that would have been 6. And Coach Gibbs said that if they would have scored the touchdown, they were going to go for 2, which I wouldn't have been mad at one bit. I think these guys got a lot of fight in them. They don't quit. I just need them to have better starts coming into the game. Kevin White, KJ White, 19 for 32, 279 yards with 2 touchdowns. And we got to figure out how to get this run game going, man. Like, our run game hasn't been that good at all season. Wesley Graves had 13 carries for 47 yards and a touchdown. But nobody else had more than 20 yards rushing. Outside of that, JT Smith, 5 carries, 18 yards. Shamik Blizzard, 2 carries for 9 yards. And Kevin White, he runs around, so he had 12 carries for -5 yards. But overall, receiver, we had Javion Dillard. He had 6 catches for 70 yards and a touchdown. Elijah Kennedy had a catch for 60. So overall, I think we got to do better. But I think KJ White keeps the game going and keeps the rhythm going. But we got to be more efficient offensively, and I think it's coming around. Our next opponent is William and Mary. And it's at William and Mary. We haven't been close against these guys, but this year this hasn't been the same William and Mary. This Maine team lost to them by a point, and Maine had control of the game for most of it. So I'm hoping if we can just start if we can just not start slow, because starting fast would be great, but I just don't want to start slow, right? If we can just don't start slow and not get behind the ball so early, I think we got a chance to keep this game close and maybe pull the upset here. But it's William and Mary. It's at home, so it's going to be a tough matchup. So it'll be interesting to see how they do. I'm not going to be traveling this week because I got G-Host the following week, so I won't be traveling this week. But we'll be watching from home from Flow Sports. Hopefully, I don't get too frustrated watching the game from home. But yeah, A&T Raw, I definitely need to go back and watch the telecast. No, I disagree. I think the onside kick attempt was the right decision. There's always some luck involved when you do an onside kick, and I'm not mad at them considering they were able to pull it out at home against Hampton via the onside kick too. So I'm not mad at them making the decision to go for the onside kick. So I'm not one bit with regards to that. I'm curious to see how William and Mary is going to approach this game against us. We did, for those who don't remember, the defensive coordinator, our former head coach used to be the defensive coordinator for William and Mary. Him and Mike London are tight. So I know there might be a different type of edge with this one coming into Saturday. There might be some type of storyline with regards to that, but we're going to see. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. But I do agree, AJ, A&T hasn't played 4 complete quarters yet. Yeah. In that game we lost, crazy enough, and that was against Tennessee State. So I believe that was against Tennessee State. Let me double check that. I'm pretty sure it was Tennessee State. Let's see. Yeah. Yep, it was against Tennessee State. We're up 14-10 at the half. I just want to make sure I wasn't making things up for y'all. All right. I want to take another break. When we come back, this is going to be the last break. Hopefully Tariq comes in. If not, this is going to be it's going to be a much shorter show than normal. But when we come back, I want to talk about the alumni town hall from last night. Maybe I'll throw a picture up or something for you guys to see. But when we come back, we'll discuss that. This is Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab, the Indy Report.
This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
The Cavil Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cavil.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
College football fans, a champion will rise in Atlanta on December 13th. MEAC champion, SWAC champion, the 10th Cricket Celebration Bowl, crowning an HBCU national champion. For event and ticket information, visit thecelebrationbowl.com. ESPN Events presents Red Lobster Band of the Year. Returning to Atlanta on December 12th, 4 bands will qualify for the big stage, where 2 national champions will be crowned. Follow us for rankings updates throughout the season, and join us on December 12th. For event and ticket information, visit bandoftheyear.com.
When it comes to professional learning, teachers deserve better. From the leader in online learning, Stride brings you the Stride Professional Development Center, an on-demand library of mobile-friendly courses that gives teachers choice and flexibility, allowing them to learn anytime and anywhere. Our dynamic courses provide bite-sized learning and help educators advance their knowledge while also gaining professional development hours. It's time you take charge of your learning. Visit us today to get started.
Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab, episode 718. This is the Indy Report. So yeah, man. So I went to the A&T Alumni Town Hall yesterday, and there's been a lot of emphasis on athletic giving. And our athletic director, Dr. Earl Hilton, he wanted to show us something. He showed us a chart, and I'm going to pull the chart up, basically of annual athletic donations and annual giving rates for athletics, and athletics only, because for those who don't realize, the percentages tend to be much smaller for athletics than for general folks who generally give to the institution. Where we just started a campaign, All Aggies All In, get in where you fit in. Basically trying to push, we're pushing to get money so we can for augmented academic support for the athletes, and that opens up money for NIL in another bucket so it can still be tax deductible. Because I think a lot of folks who do give to the institution would like that money to be tax deductible. So I'm gonna pull this picture up. I did a screenshot from the event last night. It's and by the way, the entire event is still on YouTube. So basically the chart to the left shows the annual athletic donations for those particular institutions. These are all going to just be public schools, because those are things that you can look up. The blue are schools in the CAA. All right, let me get Reek in here. What's going on, Reek? How you doing, sir? How you doing, sir?
Oh, what's up, man? I can't hear nothing yet. Let me get my.
All right,
Thought I could hear.
I can hear you, but I'll give you a minute before I keep going on this chart, because this is an interesting chart.
Hold on, something's wrong.
Oh, appreciate you coming in. All right, he's gonna go back and do a quick reset. So basically, the institutions in blue are the CAA schools. The institutions in green are the HBCUs, and the institutions in the one institution in gold is A&T. So when you look at the chart, A&T is in the bottom half when it comes to athletic donations annually, and percentage wise, we're in the bottom half as well. A&T is like 2.3%, which is painstakingly low. Gramblin's out here doing the do though. Like Gramblin's over 10%. So shout out to them. Alabama and A&M ain't too shabby either. But from our perspective, we need to be much higher than this. Because Gramblin's doing their thing. So shout out to Grambling. Big Reek, what's up, man?
Man, it's been a day, but I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing okay. So I'm showing this chart, man. We talked about your boys. I know you think they're gonna win the Battle of the Bay.
You do?
I do. You don't?
Man, you seen that we don't know
We'll come
who's
back to
coming.
this. We got to talk about
Yeah.
this. Yeah, we'll come back to this. You don't?
We should. We should. I mean, we should have beat y'all. We didn't. Uh we laid an egg against Howard, gave up uh a whole bunch of points to either. I don't know what team is coming. So if the smart team comes that plays like smart for a quarter and a half a game, then we good. If it's the guys that don't, then we will lose. But we shouldn't lose. But I mean, we should have lost against Elizabeth City State, or could have if they it was 1 inch away from losing that game. Think about it like that.
I'm picking y'all to win this game.
I appreciate that.
And part of it is because I don't trust Michael Vick.
Why would
I
you?
keep it a bean with you. They're not.
But they've been playing their teams better than we've been playing.
Okay. They shouldn't have lost to Wagner.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, Wagner's bad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they almost lost to Virginia State too. I'll just remind you of that.
Us too. That's what I'm saying. We're like literally mirror images of each. Literally. Yeah, I've had to be somewhat philosophical about this team. Like, I think, sometimes you like a real fan, you're like, hey, my team's great. My team, they got problems, man. We have lost 8 straight games against Division I teams.
I can relate. I've been there.
Yeah. So there's something there. That's just something there, man. So I hope we don't lose to Norfolk State, but we're both. Either team can win this game, but we're a better team. But that don't mean nothing.
I'm hoping that because this is a big rivalry that you guys are gonna be worried for this. Like Howard is a good football team. Like Howard's
Yeah.
pretty good. So you shouldn't be. You can be mad about the dominance that happened in that game, but you can't be mad. You shouldn't be mad at losing to Howard this year because Howard's a pretty good football team this year.
No. You know what I saw against Howard? Like I was thinking about it. Our team is young because we got the portal just raided us, man. Like they even took the backups, man. So like we got a lot of young dudes, and Howard's team, they're old, they're more mature. Their whole O line is like seniors and grad students. So you got guys who've been lifting weights in college for 5 years and guys who've been lifting weights for 3 months. Like we just got dominated. So that was after the first quarter. I was like, I see how this gonna go. They were just literally throwing us around like rag dolls. But Norfolk State, man, we're gonna try and give it away as we've been doing all year. So hopefully they're worse than us when it comes to that.
Well, I'll leave it at this. By the end of that game, one of you guys is going to get your first FCS win of the season.
Yeah, that's sad, man. God, though. God,
I'll leave it
man.
up. Yeah, it's the truth. One of y'all is going to get your first FCS win.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
talked about us and William and Mary, man. It ain't the same William and Mary, but we haven't been able to play 4 full quarters the entire season,
Mhm.
and that's been killing us. Like, I think if we would have played 3 good quarters against Maine, we would have beat them.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, because y'all came back against them, right? That was ugly
yeah,
early.
man. Yeah, but we were too we kept giving up. We gave up too many big plays in the first half. We held them down to 7 points in the second half. So they tightened up defensively second half, but we were so behind. And then we were down 21 with 8 minutes to go. It was like it became an uphill battle, but they fought. They almost won. They just ran out of time. I mean, they were at the 25 with like 11 seconds left. Just ran out of time. They only had 2 shots.
Yeah, it's sort of amazing. Like our team is there's a lot of introspection going on behind the scenes about what to do, how to fix it. Something's really broke.
Well, the question becomes, if it gets too bad, are y'all going to move on from the coach that you got? I hope not, but that's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I don't think so. I think there's a whole lot of changes to be made around him. But I mean, because we haven't been good for a long time, so it doesn't matter who is the coach. But his record is pretty bad. So for the untutored, just like, damn, what's the record? Get him out of here. And if we lose this weekend, lost to
Oh yeah,
Howard
like
and Norfolk State
I think if Norfolk wins this game,
at home,
it's going to
at
take.
home, right?
Yeah, is it? Where is it? Where is it at? I'm not sure.
I think we're at home.
Okay, let me see. I want to make sure. If Norfolk wins this game, if Norfolk wins this game, yep, it's at Hampton. If Norfolk wins this game, that's going to take some stuff off of Vic. Like, that'll buy Vic a lot. Well, Vic ain't going nowhere anyway, but like the criticism of him will reduce a little bit if he wins this game.
Yeah.
And if you guys win this game, it'll take the heat off of Boykin a little bit.
A little bit, just
a little bit.
A little bit.
But if either one of these games is a blowout, there's gonna be screams either way. Like, even after what happened with us with the school down the road, folks were talking about trying to move Gibbs, and I'm like, you guys are out your mind. It ain't happening, guys. ain't happening.
Gibbs is funny though. He talked too much, but he'll figure that out.
No, he'll figure it out. I mean, yeah, I guess he went viral off a comment he made about how the team doesn't know how to win. Something about losing. I can't even remember what the comment was. But.
Yeah, today it was about they listen to too much NBA YoungBoy. Like, in the locker room, listen to YoungBoy, then they come out
and they're not ready.
All those kids listen. All those young men listen to YoungBoy. You just ain't got the guys are young too, right? Y'all are like us, young. So it's gonna take some time.
Yeah. So I pulled up this chart. This was presented yesterday at our alumni town hall. Earl Hilton came up and showed this chart. He really didn't get to go through all the slides like that because the chancellor took a lot of the time of the brief, which was fine because he wanted to go over a lot of stuff, which is not a problem. I thought that was a good thing. But so he kind of zoomed through most of these slides because he already went over some of this stuff before. But this was a new slide that he popped up. And this slide shows the athletic donations on the left, the giving rates on the right, percentage wise. And this is just solely to athletics. And so he put this chart up to emphasize the fact that A&T is in the bottom half compared to our HBCUs and compared to the HBCUs and the CAA. And these are all public institutions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the first things that I noticed, FAMU's doing a pretty good job. Shout out to them. Grambling is too. And then when you look at the percentages over here, Grambling is getting it in where they fit in, so to speak, with over 10% of their alumni giving back, which is pretty cool. That's pretty dope. A&T's at 2.3%, right? Like Norfolk, Tennessee State, Morgan, FAM, Alabama State, South Carolina State, Alabama A&M, and Grambling, they all give at a much higher percentage than us. And then you talk about the money, Tennessee State, A&M, Morgan, Grambling, and FAM, they all give more than us. I find it fascinating that FAMU gives more than everybody but 3 CA. I mean, gives more donations than 3 CAA teams, which is fascinating.
That
Now,
is.
granted, now College of Charleston does not play football, and they're still getting like so much money. But basketball is their bread and butter at College of Charleston. But Stony Brook, I'm not shocked by. They get injections. And it's not an accident that their team turned around as fast as it did.
Mm-hmm.
And William and Mary, man, they're big, man. I went to a women's basketball game over there earlier this year, and they got a nice campus, man. I will say that.
Yeah.
But I think like we're trying to A&T's trying to raise their super stretch goal is $3 million in athletics. So we got to get there to be able to. That'll put us, if we can do that, that'll put us like pretty much close to where College of Charleston is. I think the goal is $1 million, which would put us probably around like 1.5 million, give and take. Well, no, about 2 million. Put us at 2 million, which would be good.
I'm surprised it's that low for you guys. I mean,
I'm not.
it's given all the Aggie pride. I mean,
I'm not, because it's one thing to have Aggie pride, but sometimes you got to give. Like our giving rate for the campus, for the school, is much higher. We don't give to athletics like that. So I'm not surprised. So that's why when I'm looking at the season and I'm seeing how the results are, you can't be shocked. And the way that A&T manages the athletic budget, they want to make sure that all the teams get everything they need. Not the bare minimum, like everything.
mm-hmm.
And so because I know there was I couldn't find the chart, but I guess I saw there was another chart that came out and it showed just the football budgets of the public schools, and A&T was near the lowest. And I said, and we have like a $20 million budget. So I said part of the reason why is because we have among one of the highest budgets in the CAA in track, among one of the highest in volleyball, among one of the highest in women's basketball. We're near the top in those categories. And what are the correlation? They're winning. Volleyball's stopping is starting to kind of slow right now, but last year they made the CAA tournament for the first time. So like we're winning. So there's a correlation there. Yeah, we have the highest for women's basketball, and I think that's not going to change. So we won the regular season title, and we have one of the best records in conference in the CAA since we've joined. I think the best record in conference since we joined. So the investments matter. So people complaining about the football program and how bad the football team is. We gotta start punching at our own weight if we're trying to win the CAA.
True.
If we just okay beating the rivalry, and we can't even do that right now because of how bad the team is, okay, then don't do nothing. Maybe we might figure something out. But if you want to win the conference and be better, we gotta start giving more, man. 2.3% ain't gonna fly.
Yeah, that's not good.
$1 million ain't gonna be enough. That's not enough.
I wonder what ours is.
Yeah, you gotta call your AD for that one, buddy. He can probably tell you. And to think, he probably might be willing to put it out there to let folks know what it is. Because I mean, we do have a lot of product. We do a lot of talking. I posted on Twitter that I was like, it's action time, guys. Like it's like we're done with talk. It's action time. Yeah, this is where I'm at, ODB. They never made it a priority. We've never made it a priority. So when we were dominating in the Celebration Bowl, it was not a priority. It wasn't a priority. Fundraising was not a priority. We never made it a priority. Like we've been talking about doing an athletics capital campaign for years, and we're finally getting off the ground because we have to if we want to compete. It's just, ticket sales, game guarantees, and student fees. I didn't want to pull up the other chart, but I've pulled this up before on the show where 60% of our athletic budget comes from the students.
But to say so, Earl is astute. I wonder maybe he's going where there's some traction. Like, why doesn't he think there's not enough gold in them hills of the alumni?
I think he needs to. I think we need to focus more on corporate sponsorships. To be honest with you, I don't think we do enough in that area, in that arena. I don't think there aren't too many HBCU. There aren't too many HBCUs that do, to be honest with you. Like I think Howard has done a pretty good job. I think like the women's basketball team got an NIL deal. Like they got sponsorships. So like I just think that I think right now we need to have somebody that focuses solely on that.
Right.
And like knows how to get to those corporations. I think we're getting the staffing to do that right now. We need somebody that primarily focuses on that, and then you might see some changes and things of that sort. But like Steve Smith Sr. donated $50,000 to the golf program. The coach did that. You know what I'm saying? Like the golf coach did that.
Right.
So like it shouldn't always have to come down to that.
Interesting.
And
yeah,
ODB's got it right there. Just like student fees, you can't live off the backs of alumni donors forever. Because the other dilemma you got too is that, and the other factor that a lot of folks don't want to discuss, but it's very true. You can't keep depending on the old guard to keep paying for this. You got to come up with ways to get the younger alumni involved. And I think that's going to be a bigger challenge than I don't think we realize. And that's just not for us. That's across the board.
For everybody. Yep.
That's everybody. Like I used to have jokes about the MEAC and the audience of their basketball tournament. And I'm like, this basketball tournament is not going to exist in 25 years because you're not going after the young folks. You got to get the young guard involved too. You got to come up with ways to get the younger population involved. And that comes to giving as well because we're so dependent on it, especially in athletics. We're so dependent on it. So, when they briefed us like, well, we got to get more from the alumni. I'm like, you're going to get what you get from me, man. I can't, there's some level of sacrifice that some folks can and can't do. And that's why this campaign is like whatever you can give, $1, $100, $10, whatever. Like, I think it's about just trying to get the numbers up and getting more alumni involved. So I'm going to help.
Once you get them in, then you get the updated address and you get the phone numbers and you get all that stuff. And then you can start peppering people. But yeah, and the economy, we can't.
Yeah, man, that's the other thing too. That's the other thing too. Like when you take everything into account, like I don't know if you've been paying too much attention because we're about to close the show, but I don't know if you've been paying too much attention about the everything that's been going on with the classics with Valley and FAMU about them moving the game to November 29th.
Yeah, not really. Not really.
Yeah, that's a classic example of not everybody dotting their E's and crossing their I's. I said that so wrong. Dotting their I's and crossing their T's. I definitely did that backwards.
Somehow you got an E in there too.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
Everything is not as clean as you think it is when it comes to these classics. And I think when you're trying to start up a classic, it's difficult to get it off the ground. So I think realistically doing it at an NFL stadium where it costs close to over $650,000 to rent a stadium, that's asking for a lot. Yeah, that's asking for a lot, man. But we'll see. I think and I think my biggest fear right now, my biggest thing that I'm noticing right now, I think everybody's trying to have a classic. Like that's not how it works.
Right.
That's not how it works. There's some games that are gonna be bona fide. Like those are games that are classics. And like sometimes that's what you get. But you can't just say, oh, we're gonna make this a classic. I never asked you this question. And because considering this year, Jackson State and Hampton was supposed to play in Chicago. What happened?
I still haven't heard the full story. I do know from a lot of folks they wanted us to actually drop out of that game completely. But for whatever reason, we decided to still play it. But I know there are people who wanted to not even play the game.
Hampton alums or Jackson? You guys?
Hampton. Yeah.
Why?
Don't know. I just stopped trying to dig, but they was like, we should have dropped out. And part of it is, because we lost so much talent, but there was some other stuff going on too. It's like, nah, we should have just dropped out the game.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah, I've heard that several times.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah, me neither. But yeah, it's a thing.
Oh
Was
my
a thing.
goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I remember y'all had the game with Grambling up in New Jersey, and I was like, yeah, that
I
was,
was
and
there.
I
I was
went.
there for that one.
Yeah, I was
Yeah, you were
there.
there too. Yeah, I
Yeah, I
was
was
there.
there. Yeah, I thought it was a good experience. I took the route up. I took the route up to Newark for it. It was a
Mm-hmm.
pretty good experience, I will say. So I was kind of shocked when you guys didn't do it again. I'm like, y'all had a good thing going there.
Yeah, and we always go up there. Always. We play. I mean, we're deep up here. Now that I'm in New York, I mean, there's tons of us
Oh
Hampton
yeah.
alum up here, so I'm surprised. I'm
But
surprised.
y'all recruit heavy too. Y'all recruit heavy in the Northeast. Y'all recruit very heavy in
Yep.
the Northeast.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Y'all recruit heavy in the Northeast. Always have.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
Paris. Yeah, Paris. You'd be surprised, man. You'd be surprised about what be happening behind the scenes in some of these things, man. Because sometimes, like, the MEAC schools tend to not be in the classic business like that. They're just not. And that's just a thing. Like outside of like the Florida Classic, Aggie Eagle, Battle of the Bay, Battle of HU, Carolina Classic when it was called the Carolina Classic between us and South Carolina State. Like we've kind of veered off from that historically over time.
Mm-hmm.
We have, because Morgan don't have a
But
rival. So
a lot of times with those classics, there's issues with the promoters, right? They start getting
yes,
weird, man. They're like pimps. I mean, it's like Don King, you know what I mean? They ain't,
only in America.
yeah, man. Some of the promoters are bad, man. Bad. And then they try and change terms. Yeah, bad deal. Bad deal sometimes. So if you can just have your game on campus. But I do think, what's the classic? What's classic about FAMU and Mississippi Valley? Like what was
Well, the Georgia Football Classic used to be a game that was played for a long time, and it stopped about a decade ago.
Mhm.
Right. So, but I think when you're going to have something like that, you need to have the right teams there.
Yeah.
Could A&T get back into the classic business they wanted to? Pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we can fill if it's A&T versus FAMU. I'm pretty sure we can fill something up.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a question of that. We got we got a strong alumni base in Atlanta, so is FAMU. I don't think there's a question of that. But it's got to be the right promoter. It's got to be the people that we can trust. Because like like the only classes that we're doing that's like with big sponsorship is the Aggie Eagle Classic for the Duke Mayo's Classic.
Mm.
And that's not going to be until we did one in 2022. We do the second one in 2027.
And that's the one in Charlotte, right?
That's the one in Charlotte. Yep.
Yeah.
That's the one in Charlotte.
Yeah.
I think AD Hilton said they got $500,000 in the clear for the first round. So we're hoping we're better. We can get more than $500,000 in the clear in the second round. We'll see. But nah,
Let me ask you a question.
Yep.
Go back, pivot back to football. Like, I'll follow with this. Like, how do you feel? How do Aggie fans feel about that loss to Central? Because we ain't really dive into that.
Oh my God. I mean, I think initially folks were they were kind of shell shocked, but I don't think folks realized how bad the situation was that Gibbs inherited. I think that was the game. Like, I don't know why they didn't think that could happen, but I think the reality set in when it happened again at home.
Yeah.
And I think now they realize that this is not what you guys think it is. And then, then you have the conversation of we were literally a penalty away from being 0-4. Because if you guys didn't get that penalty at the end of the fourth quarter, that gave us that first down, that game was over.
Yeah.
And then we went down the field, got the touchdown, got the onside kick, got the field goal, won the double overtime, won the game. So like when you look at it like that, we could be 0-4. Because some people always say, well, we could, if we would have did this against Maine, we probably could have gotten that win. If we would have did this again, if we didn't have somebody turn to get, yeah, but if we didn't get that penalty, we would have been 0-4. Like so when you take all that into account, you kind of have to have an idea of what you got in front of you. We're not a good football team. I think we have talent on the team. I think we got some good players on that team, but there's so many holes. And on top of that, this team has to learn how to win.
Right.
Like that's the big thing right here. That's the big kicker too. Like this team has to learn how to win. And Coach Gibbs also made a comment to the effect of, and I don't have to quote, to the effect of, there's still players on this roster that think we go into games thinking they're gonna lose when certain things happen within the game.
Yeah.
He needs a roster full of people that think they can win this game at any point in the game.
Yep.
And he doesn't have a roster full of that. He has a lot of players that do feel that way, but everybody's not in unison when it comes to that. So he's got to get that first.
Yep.
It's gonna take some time, man. Like I think against William and Mary, I just hope we don't get blown out like we did last year and the year before that. They have beat. No, it was just last year. They have beaten us pretty bad, bro.
Yeah. Sometimes when William and Mary will beat the brakes off, like if that line is rolling that day, you ain't got no chance. You know, one thing, the reason why I asked that is because like Hampton, at least the folks I know, it's not really surprised. Like that loss to Howard really forced us to like, whoa, wait.
Yeah.
We ain't what we thought we were. Like, it's not even like how the hell. It's like, whoa, wait, damn, we got problems.
Yep. This is it. This is it right here. Guys that expect to win and not hope to win.
Well, you gotta get all them Brown guys out of there. You probably still got some remnants of that.
Yeah, well, it's that and it's other things too. I mean, you got to think about it, man. I'll ask you this question. We got to close out the show for ONG Strike Zone. Do you remember the last time A&T beat a team with a winning record? A Division I team with a winning record?
No.
South Carolina State in 2021.
Dang, I was gonna say
the year that they won the Celebration Bowl was the last time we beat a Division I program with a winning record.
Oh man.
So that was before Coach Brown. That was during the Washington era. So when we went 7-4 in 2022, we did not beat a single team with a winning record. We lost all those games. All 4 of them. Including against Gardner-Webb in the Big South Championship.
Wow.
And then that doesn't even, and it doesn't help that the last 2 years it's been brutal. Like last year we lost our home games by average over 30 points.
Wow.
So
you know, one thing y'all got to do, we're finding this out, like, was because of the way this country works, because if y'all have success in the CAA, people are going to come harder after your players in the portal. So that's something, all this fundraising and stuff like that.
That's why you need it.
Yep. It's even more important for us.
Yep.
You know, there's bias against the MEAC players, but if you're in the CAA and you can play it, like, oh, okay, you can come be on our bench and here's 50 grand.
Yep. All right. I got to close out. You're right, man. I got to close out because I don't want Brian being mad at me. Yo, guys, check out the ONG Strike Zone coming up next. Thank you for listening to Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Make sure you share your podcast with your friends and colleagues. Follow me on Twitter at ChampD1012. Follow Big Reek at hupowership.com. Make sure you follow Dr. Cavil at Dr. Kenyatta Cavil on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Follow Inside the HBCU Sports Lab 1 on Facebook and Inside the HBCU Sports Lab on YouTube. Dream big and continue to move forward. We'll talk to you soon. Reek.
Of course.
Lecture dismissed. All right. We'll see you guys next week, guys.
Later, man. Good luck.